Hey, fellow stampers. Hi, Brenda Hillard here at Create with Brenda. So, I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I have a really fun gift card enclosure for you tonight. I don't think it's maybe something that you've seen before, but I used the Sweet Stockings DSP, which I love, but not everybody is that cat and dog loving person. So I wanted to show how this paper can really be used differently with the Christmas bulbs and the diagonal stripes and then this fun little print. So as you can see, there's lots of coordinating colors with the Sweet Stockings DSP, and kind of be watching because there's a pop-up sale coming on the 16th through the 18th that you won't want to miss. Papers, stamps, inks, all the good stuff is coming up. So check that out at createwithbrenda.com. And if you don't subscribe to my newsletters, you'll want to. I have lots of fun things that happen every month in my Stampin' Studio that I love to share with you. So check it out. So the other products I'm going to use today is I'm going to be using the sentiment, this Merry Christmas. And this is the stamp set called For Unto Us. It carried over from last year into the catalog again this year, and it's a beautiful set. So check that out. And again, I'll be using this little Merry Christmas. And then my inside sentiment comes from the, where does it come from? That's a really good question. It's just this little wishing you Christmas cheer and magical moments that last all year. And I believe it is the, let me grab it, the whimsical trees. Let's see if that's it. It is. So here's that stamp set. And like I said, the sentiment I'm going to be using is this one right here. All right. So my dies, I'm going to be using the Tasteful Label dies again. I love this embossed circle. So that's the one I used out of this 10 die label set. The tools that I used are pretty minimal. I used the paper trimmer, and then I'm also going to be using our scoring board. And I guess the main reason I used this is because I made this gift card holder, or this design, for a card swap a demonstrator card swap that I belong to each month. So let's get started. Right. Here's our card, our gift card holder, and it's got the standard base, the 5 1/4 or 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then this opens like this, and then this pulls out. It's very easy. I know it looks like, wow, that's a lot of pieces, and it kind of is, but once you have it cut out, it goes together very easily. And I really do think it's lovely. So I hope you do too. Let me show you what you need for measurements. So I have a piece of old olive that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I have a piece of the Stockings Designer Series paper. This measures 4 by 5 1/4. And this was what I was talking about. If you aren't that cat and dog person, look at the beautiful print on the other side. You'll need another piece of old olive. This measures 4 inches by 8 1/4. So 8 1/4, you have to cut a 1/4 of an inch off, and then 4 inches wide. And we're going to score this piece. So I'm just going to set it to the side here. You'll need a piece of basic white, or if your designer series paper calls for very vanilla or cream colored paper, then 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. I have a piece of designer series paper. This is just a coordinating paper, and it measures 2¼ by 3½. And then you're going to need 2 pieces of basic white that measure 2½ by 3¾ and then a piece of designer series paper that measures 3 inches wide by 5½ long, and we're going to be scoring this piece as well. So I'll set it over here. And then here's that lovely scalloped, stitched, embossed, whatever you want to call it, die from the Tasteful Labels dies. All right, and that was just with a scrap. And I did that ahead of time so that I don't keep you forever with the assembly here. All right, so the ribbon that I used is the Real Red, and this is the ruched ribbon. I love this ribbon. And I used the Real Red Classic Stampin' Pad. And then my embellishments are the, they coordinate so nicely with this paper. They are called the Matted Decorative Dots. And you get all 4 colors in the pack. And as you can see, they have been well used. So that's everything. Let's start scoring first, okay? So I'm going to take this piece of old olive and I'm going to bring in my scoreboard. I'm going to put the 8¼ inch edge up along the top. And I'm going to score at 2¾ and 5½. Right, there's that. Then I'm going to bring in this piece of designer series paper, 3 inches by 5½ inches. And when you score on designer series paper, you have to use a light hand or it will rip your paper. But I'm going to score at the 2¾ inch mark. So that's 1/4 inch from the edge. So I'm going to score. And then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to score again at 1/4 inch from the edge. So that's at the 2¾ And then I'm just going to turn it so the long side is up here, and I'm going to score that at 3¾ So I'm just going to go right across. Right? So that's all of our scoring. Let's bring in our bone folder because whenever we do scoring, we want to make sure we have a really nice crease. Okay? So I'm going to take this first fold and I'm going to fold it up to that score line and just give it a good crease. And then I want to fold it back and I want my edges to be even. So I'm just going to even those up and then give that a really good fold. Okay. So when we open, it's going to open like this. So you have 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let's bring in this piece and we're going to need our snips here. So it's what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to fold it up on that 3¾ inch fold and give it a really good crease. Then I'm going to take the snips and I'm going to just do these little miter clips. And I'll show you here what I mean by that. It's just a little triangle snip. I'm snipping up to the 1/4 inch score line and then just a little bit like that. Just a little V out of there. And let's do the same thing on this other side. So a snip, a snip. Okay. Then we're going to take our bone folder, and I'm just going to fold these back. And you'll see what I'm doing here in just a minute. I'm going to give that a really good crease. And I'm going to fold this one back, that 1/4 inch score line. There it is. And then I'm going to give this one more. This is our 3 3/4 inch score line. I have just a little paper shred that I want off from there. So now these, I want to fold them in like that. And then I'm just going to lay it down and give those a really good crease. Okay. So it looks like that. You see I've got the flaps here on the front and then here on the back. So I'm going to take my stamp and seal and I'm just going to go right along. I'm going to put my silicone pad down just because I have a new placemat and I don't want ink or ink or glue adhesive all over it. So what I did is I put a line of stamp and seal right along that fold, and then I'm going to fold those in like that. So then we're going to fold this up and we're going to bring these flaps around the back. And I'm going to just give it a little bit of adhesive there to glue down that flap. And as what this is this is what forms, let me grab my card here. This is what forms the pocket for our gift card, okay? So then I can add a whole, I don't want to say a whole bunch, but a whole bunch of adhesive here and in the middle. And I'm just going to give some on the top and the bottom because I want to make sure that that's really secure. And then on this middle flap, I'm just going to center that and glue it right down, okay? So then, you know, I had you cut that 2 1/4 by 3 1/2 piece of designer series paper, and I had you cut 2 of the 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. Well, you're going to glue your designer series paper onto that rectangle. And then once you have that done, that's when we're going to take our ribbon and tie it right around here. And we're just going to give it a bow or a knot, whichever you prefer. Puff that up a little bit, make it look a little fancier. There. All right. So once you have your bow or your ribbon tied around, you can just kind of slide it down and adjust it wherever you want it on your card. And then I'm going to take some liquid adhesive and I'm going to put some right here at the bottom and whoops, right up here at the top. And then I'm going to put that right here, this flap. And this will make sense in just a minute. Let me, whoops. See, this is why I like the liquid glue, because you get just a minute to reposition and get it all where you want it. So when you put these on, you want it to open like this because this side is going to get glued down. So it opens out, right? So then with our other rectangular piece that I had you cut 2 of, the 2 1/2 by 3 3/4, I'm going to take our real red, open that up. Oops, now I got some, nope, I guess that was just, all right. So my little sentiment that I had for the, oh, it's from the Whimsical Trees. I'm going to ink that up. And I just want to stamp my sentiment, for the insert. And I'm going to bring my die cut piece in, and using that Merry Christmas from the For Unto Us stamp set right here, I'm going to ink that up with red ink, and I'm going to stamp that right here on the circle. All right. Just going to put my stamps off to the side. That's all the stamping there is on this project. So now that we have our pieces, I'm going to take our liquid glue again, and I'm going to add some onto the back of our sentiment piece. And we're going to put that right in the center here. So now we have something on all three flaps of our card. Okay, let's put this in so that you can see that that's where the gift card goes. Right. Then I'm going to take adhesive and add it to the back of our little trifold panel there. And I'm going to take our piece of basic white that measures 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. And I'm just going to center this right onto the basic white. So now we have this piece that looks like this. And then I'm going to take adhesive and add it to the back. That was a little premature. Our piece of designer series paper, let's do this first, that measures 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to glue this right onto our 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of old olive. So this is just going to get centered right on here, just like that. And then because I had put glue on this already, I am going to just center this down on my card front. Okay, so now it's going to open like this. Cute, right? Our Merry Christmas is going to get popped up with none other than our dimensionals. So let's bring those in. And I'm just going to grab 2. And I can pop that on right here. And then you've heard me talking about these beautiful matte decorative dots. I'm just going to grab a couple of those in matching colors. Oops, maybe I'll use a little one. Let's use one of these darker ones too. Put it right down here. So there's our little embellishments, our ribbon. It opens like this. And here's our gift card with our sentiment and a place for us to sign. And being this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, it all fits perfectly into one of our A2 or our medium basic white or very vanilla envelopes. I hope you loved today's project. I hope you'll give it a try. Be sure to check out my other videos, and I have my online store linked down below. Every month I give away a host code gift with a qualifying order. So check that out. Have a great day, everybody, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.